How can you tell if you should break up? That is a tough one, whether you're the one who's making the decision to break up, or even if you're the person who's been broken up with, you still might want to know, was it the right decision? And it's hard. I have been there, and I want to give you 7 tips to know if it's the right thing to do to break up. Let's just start with the obvious one. If you or your partner are physically hurting each other, if you are being physical in some way that's harmful, no, not good. You need to take a break. Now I get it, I've been there, I've had that relationship where, things got physical from time to time and it just happened and it was just normal because that's just the way things are in your life, and why would it be any different? You think it's not a big deal, it only happens every now and then, yeah. And I do it too, or I'm not perfect, so whatever, it's just the way that we relate to each other. No. Love should not be painful. This is not normal and you're making it normal. Stop doing that. Now, I'm not saying that there's not love in your relationship. You can still love your partner and do these awful things or have these awful things done to you, but that doesn't mean that the love overtakes these things. These are not okay. This is not a relationship if this is what's happening. Unfortunately, with these kinds of relationships, and I know it firsthand, what happens is your body starts to kind of like rewire itself, and it starts to think like, oh, maybe bad things are a sign of love, and maybe I should go after the bad boy or the tempting girl or whatever, those archetypes that we have in our head of the badass person that we want to be with. But your body shouldn't be attracted to pain, and rewiring your body to think that pain is good is not healthy for you in the long run. If your relationship has gotten to this point, or if it was always at this point, this is a time to step back, take a break. Even if you don't want to call it a breakup, call it a break. Take a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year apart, whatever you think it's going to take. Maybe go in and see a therapist. Figure things out, start journaling, start thinking about why you behave the way that you do, why you either do this to your partner or why you accept it from your partner, and go from there. Start learning about healthy boundaries. All right, so that first one, that's kind of obvious to most people. Physical harm, not so good in a relationship. But the second one, even though we might think it's obvious, it's not obvious while we're in the middle of it, and that is emotional harm. Just like with physical harm, we can make excuses for emotional harm. We can say, well, that's just the way they are, it's just the way that things have been, and I can deal with it. It's okay. I'm a jerk sometimes too, so whatever. That's just how relationships are, right? Sometimes you get cranky and sometimes you hurt people, and it's just the way it is. And maybe I deserve it sometimes because I do things too that aren't so nice. And once again, I have been there too. That is like the narrative throughout most of my last relationship with my ex. You just figure, oh, well, they're having a hard time at work, or they've had a rough day, or something just happened in their life, or whatever it is. It's their mood, it's their mental illness, whatever it is, it's okay, we'll figure it out. Now here's the thing, that's kind of normal. Yes, to some extent there is cooperation, there is accepting people's flaws in a relationship. And it's good and healthy to be empathetic and understanding when your partner's having a hard time, and it's also okay to sometimes mess up and hurt somebody. It becomes a problem though when it is a pattern, and this is the way that things have been going for a while now, for months, maybe years. And it really doesn't matter if it's one of you that's doing it or both of you that's doing it. If this emotional turmoil, if you're constantly in pain, if you go through periods of pain and relief, and it's always the same problem and nothing is changing, this could be a sign to either get into therapy if you haven't already, but if it's still not changing, if one of you's not changing the dynamic, it might be a time to break up. Unfortunately, sometimes the way that we relate to people, it goes back to the way that we were treated by our parents. It goes back to the way that exes treated us, and things just kind of like pile up throughout the years that we get into these behaviors and these patterns that aren't so good for relating to other people, and especially in an intimate relationship where things can be really hard and really painful. We don't want that. So really, we always have to be on guard to make sure that we are relating to people in a healthy way, that we are doing active listening, that we are practicing empathy, that we are understanding, but we also don't enable and we don't allow somebody else to walk all over us, that we have our independence, but we also try to connect sometimes. These are all signs of a healthy relationship, but if we get into patterns where all of this stuff isn't happening or there's constantly a problem, we should listen to that. And what I want to stress here especially is if you have been working on things and you know what your problems are and you continue to work on them and you actually change your behaviors and you can demonstrate that you have changed your behaviors, maybe you can think of examples in your past, then you've done what you can. And if your ex has not changed their behavior, if you're the one doing all the work, Again, probably a good time to at least take a break, if not break up. And I say this because with my ex, there was a lot of emotional problems and a lot of patterns that weren't so good in our relationship. And I had a therapist point a lot of them out to me, and I would do the homework that she would give us, and I would change basically. And I knew that he wasn't doing the homework because whenever I did the exercises with him, he wasn't doing things according to the way they were supposed to be done. I would actually tell him, I would remind him like, oh, we're supposed to say this, or we're supposed to talk this way and try things out this way, and he wasn't doing it. And really, ultimately, that should have been a sign to me that this was not going to ever work out with him, and yet I stayed with it because, like I said before, I made all the excuses for why it was okay and why things should continue, and we're working on it, so it's going to be fine. But he wasn't working on it, and no matter what amount of work that I did, things were not going to get better. He was always going to find a way to see it as my fault, even though I was changing drastically, because maybe he was afraid of the change. I don't know, but that relationship was not healthy, and staying in it just caused me years of agony. Okay, the third tip to know if you should be breaking up is one of those ones that's really hard to swallow. It's if your lives are moving in different directions. Everything could be going fine in your relationship, but you should have shared goals and you should have a vision of the future that involves each other in it. But things get tricky when you both have individual goals that you want to meet. Maybe one of you wants to advance in a career. Maybe one of you wants to go back to school. Maybe you want to live somewhere your partner doesn't. Any of these things can, maybe children, maybe you want to have children, maybe you don't. All these different life events, basically, and life paths, when they clash, that can really destroy a relationship. And this is really hard, especially because these things feel really personal to us. What we choose to do as a career, who we choose to have friends with, what kind of life we envision, that's like our dreams. That's what we want in life. And we should be talking about that with our partner constantly. I know it can be really tempting to just be like, well, I can put this off for a few years, or I can do this later. It's not a big deal. The relationship's more important. But don't sacrifice your life just because your partner isn't willing to bend and cooperate with you. If something means that much to you, then your partner should be willing to listen and negotiate how is your future going to look together with this as part of your life. Maybe you find out that there is a way to do it, but there's a way to do it differently so that you can fit your partner in. Or maybe your partner says, well, I want to do this. This is how I want to structure my life. And you just work together on the problem and you find how the puzzle pieces fit. And they're not always going to fit perfectly. I understand that. Sometimes there's things that you just have to sacrifice. But when it's something that's really deeply important to you, it's only going to make you resentful of your partner, and it's going to strain the relationship over time. So if you haven't had this conversation already, have these conversations with your partner about what your future looks like together. And if you can't come to an agreement of how it's going to look like together in a positive way, maybe it's time to consider breaking up, or at least taking a break while you both figure out your individual futures. Okay, the fourth thing that I think that we should be thinking about here is, what do your friends say, and especially what do professionals say? But I say that with caution. I say that with caution because I've had professionals give me really crappy advice. I've had therapists that were bad, and I don't want you to just listen to one person and believe that that's the way that your life should go. But I think that your friends and your family and professionals especially who don't have an investment in the relationship in the same way that you do, they can look at things from a different perspective than you see them. And again, I say this out of personal experience. With my ex, he had cheated on me a few times, and I just kept making excuses of why it was okay, because I really wanted to stay in the relationship, because I really loved him. I understood that maybe he was a hurt person and he was doing this out of hurt reasons, and I felt like I was strong enough to get through it and figure out how we could make this work. I really believed in a future with me and him together. But this was clearly something that I was believing in on my own, and it was a one-sided relationship. It's not okay for somebody to cheat in a relationship. And yes, it can happen. People can make a mistake, and you can forgive, and you can move on from it, although it's very difficult, and I think people need to be aware of that. It's when it's repeated over and over, like I mentioned, the behavior is repeated. My ex kept repeating these behaviors and not seeing his part in things, then sometimes you need somebody outside the relationship to point out like what's actually happening. It's really easy for people, especially if you're like an optimist or somebody who likes to think on the positive side like I do, to say, well, this is okay, we're going to figure it out, and paint a beautiful picture of what the relationship's going to be, and kind of like live in that fantasy world of where you're heading and how things are going to get better. But meanwhile, right now, things are not good, and they haven't been changing to something good for a while. Sometimes you just need somebody else to tell you when you think, well, he's just doing that because he's hurt and he's tired and he's frustrated, to be like, no, he's just being a dick. It can be really hard to realize how much investment we're putting into something when our partner is not, and other people can help us see that. Okay, so let's say you're aware of a lot of this stuff. The 5th tip is for you. The 5th tip is, if you know of the problems in the relationship, your partner knows of them, maybe you're going to couples therapy and you've committed to working on things, do you know the solutions for those problems? Will you work on them, and how soon will they be fixed? Are you willing to wait it out for 2 years while your ex gets their shit together? Is your ex willing to wait it out for you to deal with the things that you need to deal with, whether it's 1 month, 1 year, or even a week? This is really just about assessing where you're at, knowing what your weaknesses are, knowing what your strengths are, and knowing if you have the resources to be able to pull it together and make both of you satisfied, and really coming to agreements about that. If you don't think that you have the resources, or you don't think you're willing to put the time and effort into the relationship, or maybe your partner is not willing to, then maybe it's time to break up. So if you're deciding if you need to break up or if it's time to break up, consider if you have the solution. Okay, so I've been talking about the 6th tip all along, but the 6th tip is to talk to your partner. Find out what your partner feels. What do they say? What are their behaviors? What are their actions? Don't just go by what they say. It's really easy when we're considering if we want to break up, you know, how we're feeling and everything, but your ex has a say in this too. It is a relationship, and it has been so far. That doesn't mean that you just sacrifice everything for your ex. I keep using that word here because sacrifice is not so great in relationships, but your ex should get some consideration. Just as I talked about how we can see a positive future with our ex and get lost in that, sometimes we can get lost in the negative future with our ex and just assume that everything is doomed when we haven't even given them a chance to speak for themselves and to try something else. A great example of this for me is when my ex decided to cheat on me after 1 day, giving me 1 day notice basically to try to change a behavior that he wasn't happy about. But how could I change in 1 day? And he didn't even give me the opportunity before he decided to go out and start seeking things that he wanted from outside of the relationship. So that's not okay. If you haven't been communicating with your partner, then they need to know what's wrong and what's bothering you so that they have the opportunity to fix it. But at the same time, don't just go off of what they say like I did with my ex. My ex made a lot of promises about how he was going to change and things were going to be better, and none of them panned out in the end. And the 7th tip is what this really all boils down to, which is, how do you feel? Do you think that you should break up? What do you feel in your gut when you consider this? I mean, it probably hurts that you're even considering this. Every time that I considered breaking up with my ex, it was really painful and really scary because I envisioned a future with him, and that was my future. So what was my future going to look like without him? Very often that thought alone was enough to keep me in the relationship and trying to work on things. And it's great that it motivated me to do that, but it didn't motivate him to do that. And ultimately, I just kept being disappointed and painfully hurt throughout the entire relationship as it continued. So I probably should have broke up with him the first time when he cheated on me, because that's what my gut was telling me. But my gut was also telling me, give it another go. How are you going to know what to do? Listen to what feels right for you. In that moment, when he first cheated on me, it felt right to set conditions on going to therapy and working on things from there. And I don't regret that I made that decision, but I do think I had to listen a little bit more to my pain because I kept pushing my pain aside to try to make something work. What are your fears when it comes to breaking up? Let me know down below in the comments.